Adorama is the destination for all of your photography, imaging, and technology needs. From an abundance of top brand cameras and gear, to an in-house photo lab, pro equipment rentals, a stocked used department, and an award-winning learning center, Adorama is much more than a camera store.
Hi, I'm Diane Wallace, and this is Adorama TV. Today we're doing a review on the Olympus cameras. The new Olympus Pen is out, and it's beautiful. I have it right here. This is the Pen E-P5, and it's really got this great look. It's actually inspired by some vintage cameras that Olympus has released in the past. They're really going back to their heritage when it comes to the design of their new cameras, and I have one. Right here, I found this camera, a 1963 Olympus Pen F film camera. This is actually available in our used department in our store at Adorama. So if you love this, you can go get it. But look at the design similarities. They both have this really pretty curved top. They just look and feel, although I'll tell you this new one is much lighter than the old film camera. But lots of improvements, lots of updates in the new Pen E-P5. And some of them include the OMD camera that Olympus released. This camera shares that 16 megapixel sensor and also the upgraded image processor. And what's more, there's a 5-axis image stabilization system in this camera as well as the OMD camera. That's really great, and what that means is not only do you get image stabilization vertically and horizontally, but on axis, so rotating around the lens and around the other access points. So no matter how you end up shaking this camera, you're actually gonna get really good image stabilization, and you can see it on the live screen mode. This camera is the first of the Olympus pens to be built with Wi-Fi in it. And so that doesn't necessarily sound exciting on its own because we're really used to having that with all of our devices. But you can actually do some really cool stuff with this. You can download an app from Olympus on your tablet or your smartphone, and you can basically control this camera from your device, which means you can remotely do autofocus or set the white balance or geotag. You can do so many things with this camera remotely. So you can even set the intervalometer. You can leave the camera outside and shoot time-lapse of star trails while you're in your house watching the game. That's great. You can totally do cool stuff with this. The Olympus E-P5 is super fast. It's got a mechanical shutter that shoots at 1/8,000th of a second. Now, most consumer cameras only go to 1/4,000th of a second, so it's twice as fast. And that means a couple of things. One of those things is that it's going to allow you to compensate in broad daylight. So you'll be able to balance out your exposures with that extra sunlight and go outside and get great shots. And it's really fast. So say there's a news helicopter outside, something's going on that you want to get pictures of. Well, those helicopter blades are going to be tack sharp and frozen in your picture if you're shooting at 1/8,000th of a second. It does very cool stuff. The other thing it does is it syncs with flash at 1/320th of a second. And again, most consumer cameras only go to about like 1/200th of a second. So it's much faster. And what that means for you is with the built-in flash, which will pop up right here, you can actually kind of get rid of all of that ambient light in your scene and just focus in on your subject. The Olympus Pen E-P5 has some terrific autofocus features. It's super fast. Now, Olympus tells us that it is as fast focusing as the DSLRs. Honestly, we can't tell the difference. The other thing that it does is we've got live mode on the back, and you can touch focus on your screen. Now that's not necessarily new because we have that on our smartphones and tablets, but it's a terrific feature to have on this camera. It means you don't have to always hold it up to your face. You can focus it right from the screen. The third thing it does, Olympus added a user suggestion, which is focus peaking. And what that means is when you've got a manual focused lens on the camera or you're set to manual mode, you can have it light up on your screen to show you exactly which parts are in focus in your scene. And that is terrific. That means you're going to have a really tack sharp image. The Pen E-P5 has this great feature on the back. It's the LCD screen, and I want to show it to you. It's here, it's a nice big screen, but when you pull it out, you can really access it very easily. It's actually lined up flush with the bottom of the camera, so that means that when you have this camera mounted on a tripod, you're not going to have any interference. You're going to be able to access it really easily, which is a great feature to have. Also, if this isn't quite big enough for you, there is an available viewfinder that attaches to the hot shoe mount. And that's extra, it's not included with the camera, but it is available, and we'll have information for that on the video for you. The viewfinder on this camera, the eyepiece, is actually really big. It's much bigger than most cameras this size. It's almost comparable to that of a DSLR size, which makes it really comfortable if that's more what you're used to, or if you wear glasses and you're shooting. It's a really comfortable camera to get to use. The Pen E-P5 has some great customizable dials and controls, so I want to show those to you. One of the new features is the dials that are on the front. There's one on the front, there's actually one at the top of the camera in the back, and you can completely customize those, as well as all of the controls, the buttons and dials on the back of the camera. What that means for you is that you can set up this camera to operate the way you shoot, not the other way around, which is really nice. We can also access all of the features in the built-in menu. The Olympus Pen E-P5 is a really great camera if you're a creative, super creative photographer like I am. You love Instagram, you love filters, those kinds of things. This camera is built in with 12 filters and 7 effects. So that's a lot of options. It even has a mode where you can apply all of the filters to the same picture. Now you might want to give the camera a little time to catch up with that. It's a lot of data to process, but you don't have to choose right away. You have all of the images, they're saved there on your card, and you can choose later, which is terrific. One more thing that it does, it has art filter bracketing, so you'll be able to choose your filter, choose your effects, and get different levels of intensity. So you really can be very creative with this camera, have a lot of fun with it. The E-P5 has more creative features. One of them is something really cool. It's called Photo Story, which is a collage app, sort of, but it's built into the camera. It's like what you see online a lot these days on Facebook and Instagram, but you can do it all in camera. You can choose your images, it collages your pictures. It's a really super fun, creative application to have built right in. The other thing that it's got is an intervalometer. Now that word may not be really familiar to you, but it's a feature that allows you to do time-lapse. So you can do time-lapse videos and photos, and you can control the intervals of how often an image is taken. It's a really great tool to have. The Olympus Pen E-P5 is the brand new mirrorless compact camera from Olympus. It's available at Adorama, of course. Thanks so much for watching.
For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. Place your order by 8 p.m. and it ships the same day. Plus, next time you're in New York City, be sure to visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.